I'm Gurpreet Singh, and my date of birth is October 22nd, 1969. I was about 13, 14 years old. I was in Jaipur. Remember, I was in the school, and during the lunch break, a lot of my friends, they started coming and teasing me, and I didn't realize what's happening. And they never have asked me, but he started touching my ears, and he says, "तुम लोगों ने हमारी माँ को मार दिया." And he was smiling, as if he was trying to tease me. And मैंने कहा, क्यों? Why do you think? What happened to her? I don't even know her mother. Says Indira Gandhi is dead. He told me, and सरदारों ने मारा, ऐसे बोल रहे. Then I was a little bit afraid, but then I gathered myself, and then they started throwing copies to me. They were all my friends, and they were laughing when they were doing it. And I got annoyed, and there was a desk. Somehow some power came. I just put that desk on my hands and threw it at the back on them, and then they stopped doing that. I was really very angry. I went home. When I went home, I told this to my mom, and my mom didn't know that what happened in Delhi. And then she switched on the television, and in Doordarshan they were showing everything, and they were yet saying that Indira Gandhi is not dead, but she has been shot by her bodyguards. And there was still confusion whether they're going to be in the Doordarshan, at least they were saying they were not very sure whether they were not very open in telling that they were Sikhs. But later in the evening, when my dad came from office, he told me that this has happened, and it was Sikh who did it, and the bodyguards, and so we have to get in touch. And Delhi is difficult to get in touch with my brother, and all the telephone lines were cut down. We went to post office of Jaipur, so that from there, if we can do some telegram or something, get some whereabout of my brother. And we couldn't get in touch. Delhi was all cut off from telecommunication for 3 days. 3 days. And then there was one of my dad's cousin in army, and after 3 days, he somehow called him and said that my brother is okay. He's fine. But our house was damaged. There were a mob of about 200 people who were shouting my father's name and my brother's name and looking for the blood. And that was and they'd managed to do it, and that house was given for rent to military. So even then they dared to burn the house, and so we didn't have. Then as we learned, there was a newspaper from somehow in Rajasthan Patrika or somewhere, from one of the story which was published was about my grandfather. He used to live in Jangpura in Delhi, and he used to be very fond of pistols and guns and whatnot. So he was a freedom fighter back. So he has a very old, and with their residence they have a big setup of tire retrating boilers, where the tires are retreated in India, and he used to supply this to defense. So he was 82 that time. Gurpreet Singh Jolly, well renowned in Delhi. He was a political figure as well as freedom fighter. He called I.K. Gujral and other people in Congress, government, and asked for help. And they said that you just surrender all your arms and we are going to send police. He says, I'm not going to surrender the arms. In fact, what he did was, he told my Mamaji that you just burn the tires, start burning the tires, and heat up the boilers. And he just started those boilers. They reached the maximum temperature in 4 hours. And there were mobs near Rajdoot Hotel. They were attacked. Their house was attacked, and he just went up the roof and started screaming to everybody that if they are gonna enter the house, he's gonna blow up the boilers, which will the Jangpura, half of the Jangpura will go with it, and obviously they will also. So they just backed out, and about 2 days that boilers were on, and that's how he was able to save his life and the entire Jangpura, where a lot of incidents still happened. But after 4 days, he was the IK Gujral, or there were other calls he started getting, because the mob was really angry that they couldn't do anything to them because of this threat. So the military was moved in, and they surrounded their house, secured that place, and the boilers were brought down after a week, when he felt that it is pretty safe, and he was actually running out of fuel too. And then this is how they saved a lot of people. So no matter what, you had some political connections, even if you are well-known people, you were still under attack because you were having Singh. And more you were known, more easier was for them to identify you and go after you. So with God's grace, Vaheguru's grace, nothing happened, and as far as life goes. But after 7 days, they were every time very scared for like couple of years, till Rajiv Gandhi and everybody was in power, that the people might come back because they couldn't do any harm to them. So it was not only those 4 days, it was whatever life he lived thereafter. He was extra careful, very low profile thing, but so it affected their life very from thereafter forever. I was in school, and when I came back, my mom was crying. And that time I asked what happened, and then she told me that Harmandir Sahib has been attacked, and we have to, she was in a very confused state. I've never seen her so confused. For a while she does a Shabad, and then she started crying, and then she started feeding us food, and then again, so that was a very different day. And I didn't realize it. I was just playing, and then later on, we in Delhi were used to little bit of scrutiny by Delhi police, or everywhere, wherever I go in my scooter or with my dad, they used to look for bombs under the seat and whatnot. Everywhere we were stopped and whatnot. We were used to do those things in Delhi. But actually, after that, things changed a lot, and we started thinking of how moving out of Delhi, which we never did. And then there was a lot of anger in my dad when he came from office, and then when he explained me what happened, and then mom told me that about little bit more about the history of Sikhs, how many times Harmandir Sahib has been attacked, and what has happened to people who have attacked in past. I was sure that her numbers are very short. She is not going to live more. Then I realized that what she did was not right, and then my dad started putting, me and our cousins and everything. We decided to exchange the papers, our property papers, the death certificates, birth certificates, or important papers. Just put a photocopy of somebody else's house, so that something happens to us, they should have some record of us. So all this started happening. We were knowing there's something going to happen on Delhi was not a secure place, or any of the Sikhs are under target. So all the precautions happened. There was, especially in Delhi, it was very much felt, because it's a very politically hot place. I have 7 masis and 2 uncles in Delhi from my mother's side, and 3 or 4 from my dad 2 from my dad's side, and no, we lost nobody, but financially we were hit very badly. To start with, it was very confusing for me because what we were shown on Doordarshan was a lot of arms been taken out of well. I still remember that black and white clip in my memory, and telling that the propaganda was that this was from Pakistan army been given to Bhindranwala, and till that time, actually till they hit Harmandir Sahib, I was not thinking very high of Bhindranwala. I was just thinking they are terrorists. But after that, actually, as if within a second something happened in my mind. Now he can't be that fool that no Sikh will ever try to create a circumstance where somebody could do this to our Golden Temple or Harmandir Sahib or Akal Takht. So there must be something which I am not capable of understanding. I just started following him, and then there were actually a lot of material was banned in Delhi, at least. The social media was not there. Later on, you're getting a lot of clips from BBC and whatnot, but that time it was all blacked out. But as we get more material, read about it, so the clarity came in that it was they wanted to do it for much before than 84. Only thing is that we gave them opportunity on 84 to do this. I've been brought up in Delhi, where most of my friends were non-Sikh, and they were so sorry about it. There were definitely not a neighborhood who did this. They were all professional contractors hired to do this, and it has been proven now. So we discussed. They wanted to discuss and give their sympathy to us, and assured that next time it happens, they'll be standing with me. So we did, and I've made a point that we talk to our kids also about this. If they have any questions, we should be able to tell them. My message is, do not, especially for kids, when I see my nephews and niece in India, do not let it go. At least give it the chance of thinking in a point of view that it was all fabricated by the government. Propaganda was there, because when I talk to my nephews in India and Delhi right now, which have not seen them, they said, they always say, "Hum usi ko leke thodi rote rahenge." And I have to tell them, "Humne rona nahi. We have to learn from it. We have to make a point that whatever they were able to do to this brave community, because we were really not Sikh at that time. We were not near Bani. We were not near Bana. We were all in a selfish mode, and that's why in the night or daytime they were able to, and there were very less resistance from Delhi Sikhs. But if we would have been in Bani and Bana, both Miri and Piri, both, we could have at least given them a fight out on that. So next time they would have thought twice to do this to us. First. Second, that you should not make your opinion only on the media. You should have your own identity. You should always make a point that you are educated enough to look for help. Right now we were not even educated, we don't even knew what to do. Sitting in America, we can very easily make out what can we do, what should we do. We should have 5 people or 10 people in the Senate and let them talk to Indian government what happened and at least ask for apology. But we have to achieve it and don't let it lose.